Under the burning afternoon sun, on a busy city street where luxury cars hummed and business suits hurried past, a little girl no older than 9 stood barefoot on the hot pavement, her small hands clutching a bundle of red roses that were beginning to wilt at the edges. Her hair was tangled, her cheeks smudged with dust, but her brown eyes still carried a quiet, unbroken glow, like they remembered something gentle the world had forgotten. Every car that passed, every businessman who brushed by, she spoke softly in Arabic, "Buy a flower, please." Just one, most ignored her. Some sneered. A few dropped coins without looking. The city didn't have time for children who reminded them of what it meant to be human. Across the street, stepping out of a polished black SUV, was Mr. Karim Al-Mansour, a millionaire known across the region for his ambition and sharp business instincts, a man feared in boardrooms and admired by those who didn't know him long enough to dislike him. His suit looked like success, his watch was worth more than some families earned in years, and his stride carried the easy arrogance of someone who had never been told no by life. He saw the girl, and instead of pity, a smirk curled on his lips, not because he was cruel for the sake of cruelty, but because life had hardened him so completely that the sight of innocence felt like a joke to him. "Hey," he called out, walking toward her, his voice smooth but cold. The girl looked up, clutching her roses tighter. "Do you speak Arabic?" She nodded quietly. He held up a bill, clean, crisp, more money than she'd seen in months. "Sell me these roses in Arabic," he said, his tone mocking, "and I'll pay you $100,000. People around stopped. A few gasps. Some laughed. Everyone knew he was joking. Just showing off. Just proving what money could do. The girl didn't smile, didn't laugh, didn't flinch. She looked him in the eyes, steady, calm. "I don't want your money," she said softly in perfect Arabic. "I want you to buy a rose because your mother would have wanted you to." The street fell silent. The millionaire froze. His smirk vanished. Something deep in his chest twisted, something he thought he buried long ago. "What did you say?" His voice cracked. The girl gently held up a single red rose, petals soft like memories. "A rose for your mother. She loved roses, didn't she?" And just like that, he wasn't a man in a suit anymore. He was a small boy again, standing barefoot in his mother's garden, watching her place roses in a vase near the window, telling him that flowers were God's way of reminding the world to be kind. But he had not been kind. Not in a very long time. The memory hit him so hard he felt the ground tilt beneath him. He swallowed, trying to keep his voice steady. How did you know?" The girl's expression was gentle, not pitying, not afraid. Mothers leave their love in their children's eyes. "I saw hers in yours." And then, it happened. In front of everyone, this man, the man known for his stone heart, the man who never bowed, never cracked, never broke, felt tears gather in his eyes. He quickly wiped them, but it was too late. The crowd saw. And he realized something else, no one was laughing anymore. Not at her. Not at him. The world had paused. In that moment, he knelt. Right there, on the sidewalk, in his expensive tailored suit, on the dirty ground where the poor walked. He knelt. And he whispered, voice shaking, "I'm sorry." He didn't know who he was apologizing to, his mother, the girl, the world, or himself. The girl stepped closer, placing the rose in his hand, her voice soft like a prayer. "Being kind doesn't make you weak. It makes you human." Something inside him broke open. Something long rusted came back to life. He reached into his wallet, and pulled out not 100,000, but everything he had. Cash, credit cards, gold membership cards, he placed them all in her small hands. "Take it," he said. "Take all of it." But the girl just smiled, shook her head, and handed everything back. "I only sell roses," she said. "One rose is one smile." And then she said something he would never forget for the rest of his life, "But you may give the money to someone who needs it. Someone you once were." She turned to leave. But he called out softly, not as a millionaire, not as a businessman, just as a man remembering how to feel. "What is your name?" She smiled. "Hope." And she disappeared into the crowd. But the rose, he kept. And that night, he didn't sleep. He walked through the city, not with arrogance, but with eyes that finally saw. the hungry, the tired, the forgotten. For the first time, not as numbers, not as reminders of failure, but as people. By morning, he had donated enough money to feed an entire shelter for a year. And he didn't tell the media. He didn't take photos. He didn't announce it publicly. Because real change doesn't ask for applause. It just happens. And every morning after that, he placed a rose in a vase by his window. For his mother. And for Hope. Days passed, but Kareem couldn't erase the girl's voice from his mind. Each morning he placed a single rose in the vase by his window, and each morning he wondered where she slept, what she ate, and how many streets she had to stand on to survive. One evening, unable to bear the silence inside his heart, he went back to the same street where he had first seen her, but she wasn't there. He searched every corner, asked shopkeepers, taxi drivers, even the homeless resting beneath the bridges. Some remembered her. The girl with the roses. Yes, sweet child. But no one knew where she lived. The city was large, and she was small. Days turned to weeks, and still he searched. One night, he found himself at the old neighborhood where he grew up, a place he hadn't returned to in years. As he walked past the cracked walls and broken streetlights, he saw something familiar: roses. Fresh roses placed carefully on a gravestone. He froze. His heart knew before his eyes read the name. His mother. And standing there, quietly arranging the flowers with gentle care, was the girl. She looked up and smiled, as though she had been waiting all along. "Hope," he whispered. She nodded. "I knew you'd come." His voice trembled. "Why roses?" The girl touched the gravestone softly. "Because love never dies, it just waits to be remembered." And in that moment, Kareem understood, he had not been searching for her. He had been searching for the part of himself he thought the world had taken away.